What up, y'all? Welcome to the Five on It podcast. Before we talk picks, I want to be clear about what this is and what it's not. This show is not about hitting the lottery. It's not about pretending I'm smarter than anyone. It's about discipline. It's about making decisions, owning it, and reviewing it with an honest look. Whether you win or whether you lose, it just is what it is. Every episode, I'll be putting $5 on one parlay. No chasing, no reloads. When we make that parlay, we make that parlay. It is what it is. And the next episode, we'll review what happened and then make our next parlay. All right. Well, welcome to episode 1. I'm excited. Let's get going. All right, what up, and welcome to Five on It. Sports talk, small bets, and real accountability. Every episode, I'll put $5 on a parlay, talk through the process, and review the results next time. Let's get into it. Just a quick note, this is for entertainment only. I'm not selling picks, I'm not giving advice, and I'm definitely not telling anyone what to do with their money. But bet responsibly or don't bet at all, and just enjoy the conversation. So here's why I started Five on It. I love sports. I grew up in sports, and it's just been a way of life. And with the onset of all sports gambling being legal in all these states, I figured, hey, why not? And I wanted to bring my disciplined mindset into it to where we use a small amount. Shout out to the Small Stakes Society, and we just have fun with it, and we learn as we go. We start building rules. We refine these rules as we go along until maybe we have a system, maybe we don't, but at least we have fun along the way. So with this passion project, it's really about that accountability, bringing discipline into something that can be wild and chaotic, which is sports wagering. This episode, we'll stick to our number one rule, and that rule will never change, and that is to only bet $5. We'll never go more, we'll never go less. It isn't about the money, it's about fun, but hey, we might make some money along the way. I don't know. But it's really about the accountability and just trying to stay on top of it. So every Friday, we're dropping a $5 parlay, a 6-leg parlay at that, too. So we'll drop this episode every Friday, and you'll be able to make your parlays and be entertained by my voice. And who knows, we might just, win a couple dollars together. We'll see. But shout out to the Small Stakes Society for giving us this platform and making it happen for us. And we'll go into it. So let's talk about today's setup. We'll be using Prize Picks as a platform until otherwise noted, but just know Prize Picks just there's no sponsorship there. We just happen to roll with Prize Picks. They have a hell of a marketing team out here in Austin, Texas, so we'll roll with that. And just a little background info. We haven't done any reviews of anything that's going on in the sports world. We haven't been watching sports for the past couple weeks. We've been kind of grinding it out for this first portion of 2026. So we're kind of coming into this almost a little blind. I think the last sporting thing I watched was my Red Raiders fall. Wreck 'em, but it's okay. We did make it far. So my Red Raiders fell in the college football playoffs, and I think that kind of burned me. So I haven't watched any sports since then. But yeah, we'll go ahead and roll into it today. So no background on sports today. We're just diving in, and with that, I just want to keep it transparent. Every Friday, we'll have a kind of a theme with every parlay. So today's theme is going to be built on popular picks. A lot of people are out there wagering, so they're accumulating their common picks and price picks actually shows you what everyone is kind of betting on. They're not telling you which way, whether it's an over, meaning that you're going over the points, or below, whether you're betting that it'll be below the point. It's just telling you what the pick is, who are they betting on. So we're going to roll with that, and then we're going to make our assessment based on the statistics, not on anything other than that, because like I said, the last thing we watched was my Red Raiders fall, but that's life. So let's see what the popularity has for us today. We pull out my handy dandy iPad. Lost my train of thought for a second. Oh dang! Prize Pick is making us update the app in the middle of the episode. While this updates, we'll just keep rolling with it. So I've been doing sports betting for about maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years. I'm not a professional. I've had the first year where I was just wildly throwing money, and then the second year I was working with a little bit more of a strategy. But I've just never just been disciplined with sports betting, and this is one way for me to be disciplined and stick to my guns, and instead of just firing wildly. So no longer shooting from the hip. I'm just taking aim, and now the app is updated. So let's go ahead and roll into these popular picks. All right. So, popular picks on the home page, you can go to the Explorer, and the first thing you'll see on Explorer is popular picks. First one up is about 103,000 people are betting on DeMar Rosen over there going against Washington. The target is 20.5 points. I prefer all of the wagers that have the either even, or really, excuse me, not even, but that have that decimal point into it, because it's going to bring us to that 50-50. You know, when you start having those solid numbers, whether it's an even number or odd number, like let's say 20 or 21, that gives us three options. They can be over, under, or they can meet that number. So yeah, I like to take out that little small error and make it to where it's either over or under. So give me those dang, I forgot what to call. I need to go back to school. But give me those number with decimal points onto it. Golly, Texas Tech, don't take my degrees back from me. All right, so we got DeMar Rosen going up against Washington, 20.5 points. With that last 5 games, you're looking at going from the most recent to the latest game. We have 27, 32, 22, 24, 21. So it looks like he goes over on all of these games, and I can't tell you too much about these opponents he was up against at this moment, but based on this, it seems like his lowest is 21, and he's really staying above that 20.5 threshold. And I would actually have to go with this one to say he's going to keep that one going. So we're going to go more for DeMar Rosen with Sacramento playing against Washington tonight at 9 o'clock. So that's going to be our first leg. Now we're going to jump over and see what else we can find for today. So we have Minnesota, Rudy Gobert, with the rebounds and assists. The target number is 13.5. From recent to latest, he's done 17, then he did a 14, 16, 18, and then another 14. Again, it has him with his lowest at 14, and it's so easy to try to like run with the stats and say statistically, based on the last 5 games, he's going to hit this. But that's not always the case. But in this case, I'm going with it. So let's lock in Rudy Gobert in for that over the 13.5 and the rebounds and assists. This game starts in about 57 minutes. Next episode, you'll be able to follow along with everything that I'm talking about for next Friday. But unfortunately, this Friday, we're behind the power curve. All right, let's see. What else do we have? Oh, yeah, that last pick, Rudy Gobert, is about 50,000 point four 50.4 thousand people have wagered on that or bet. Sometimes I say wager. I prefer to say wager. It adds a little je ne sais quoi. It's a little more fancier. But, betting, wagering is the same thing. But some of us like to put our top hat on and we like to make wagers. So, all right, on to the next one. We'll jump to. Okay. So 18.4 thousand people are going on Kevin Durant. His target is 25.5 points. And last game, 19 games before that are 28, 23, 30, 37. So we don't know what the target was before today, but if you base everything on the target of the 25.5 for Kevin Durant, it looks like he doesn't have two bad nights in a row when it comes to points. And I want to give him that 26. I want to give him that 26 based on this because he's not going to go below 24 this game, but I really am on the fence with this one. And sheesh. So we're going to go under for Kevin Durant. Although I don't know if he's going to go 26, but I do feel like he'll hit a 24 and keep it moving. So we go under for Kevin Durant. So that's our first three legs. We got three more to go. Let's see. Since we're late in the day, we don't have a lot of popularity picks. And we're only doing the popular picks that we see from that popular picks section in prize picks. So now we have Keyshawn George with Washington going up against Sacramento. 2-point attempts. That sounds lovely. 2-point attempts. Not made, not misses. Literally, how many times he's going to shoot a 2-pointer. His target is 7. So I typically do not like to go with these whole numbers. Ha! Whole numbers. That's I forgot what the other ones are called. But I don't like to go at whole numbers. But it looks like his target is 7. But before that, it was he hit 8, he hit 5, then hit 7, then 8 and 8. Maybe we'll make the whole number rule into effect next week. But today we're going, Keyshawn, we got you for going over. All right, so we have 4 legs so far. We need to add 2 more. We're running out of picks because it's so late in the day. All right, we don't have Julius Randle. We can add him into this. Julius Randle, how many people are betting on you? 11,000 are betting on him. Last pick for Keyshawn, 25,000 were betting on him. So we'll go with this 11,000 for Julius Randle and see what we can do. His target points is 23.5. Last game he had 29. Before that 15. Before that 20. Before that 28. Before that 15. Statistically, he likes to hover at that 20 and then spark it up again. Now we're not factoring in the opponents in the gameplay. We're just going off statistics. And statistically, he will not go over 23 points this game. So we're going to go under for Julius Randle with Minnesota. All right, now we have 4 picks. We need 2 more to close out. Oh, dang. Where did our Rudy Gobert? I thought we had him in here. All right. Looks like I jacked that one up. Need to go ahead and get Rudy Gobert in there. So, Rudy Gobert, he does have a few picks in here. They are all these whole numbers. But I do. So, one of the Rudy Gobert picks is the one of those devil picks, which are harder to get. But 22,000 people are accepting that risk of going for a harder to reach target. I think we're going to stay away from the Devils today. And I typically don't really roll with the Goblins. The Goblins are those easy picks. So we're going to stick with just normal picks today. Let's see what other Rudy Gobert picks. We'll go with the whole number 8 defensive rebounds. Okay, for the last 5 games, he's been over 8 rebounds. Last game was 10. The game before that is 9, then 9, then 13, then 8. I got to go with either he's going to meet that 8 or he's going to go over. I mean, he is a center. We like to think centers get rebounds, but this ain't the 90s. This ain't the 2000s. You got centers that shoot threes at this point. All right, so we have 5 legs going, and we need to add one more leg. And looks like we are out of popular. Well, we have one more popular pick. Do not know how to say this name. It is Domantas Sabonis. Don't talk about me for butchering that. All right, so he has a pick for points, rebounds, and assists. Accumulation of the 3. The target is 27.5. I'm going over. All right, but if you look at his statistics for the last 5 games, he did 35 last game, 48 before that, 19. Looks like he had a little slope down in between, 31 and then 36. Typically, when you see, for me, statistically, you see a 2 and 2 that hit, and then 1 that was short, and 2 that hit. You would want to go, or not you, but I would want to go under for this, but his that 27.5, all of the overs that he's done supersede that by at least 3.5. So I'm gonna have to go over for this one. Okay. Oh man, Rudy Gobert picked the one we picked earlier. Of course, that's what happened. We picked it, but the projection is no longer available. That's why it wasn't showing anymore. So we'll have to remove that projection. Okay. Or they removed it for us. They're just alerting us that they removed it. All right. So here we are with our 5-leg parlay. We're going to recap on this and go with Julius Randle. Well, let's back it up. This game is Houston vs Minnesota. Julius Randle, 23.5 points. We're going under with that. Kevin Durant, 25.5. We're going under with that. Rudy Gobert, we're going to go over with the 8 defensive rebounds. And then we'll go with Sacramento vs Washington. We'll go DeMar Rosen. We're going to go over for this 20.5. Domantas Sabonis. Oh, it might be Sabonis. Ooh, might be Sabonis. We're going to go over with the 27.5 points, rebound, and assist. And then we have Keyshawn George. We'll go over with the 7 2-point attempts. We did get a 70% payout boost because it's Friday. Gotta love Friday. They give a lot of good incentives to bet on a Friday. So we took the 70% payout boost. We're only doing $5 for this parlay. And another rule that we'll add to this one is to always flex play. So rules for myself is $5 and then flex. I'll flex and never power. Flex and never power. A power play is when you go for the gusto, saying that you're going to hit a 6 for 6, and you'll make more that way. But if you don't go 6 for 6, you go 5 for 6. It doesn't matter. But if you go with the flex play, it pays you out whether you go 6 for 6, 5 for 6, or you can go 4 for 6 and get a percentage of your money back with the 4 for 6. But I mean, 5 or 6, I mean, you got more odds. I mean, it's not 6, 7, but it's more odds. So we'll go with a $5 entry with a 70% payout boost. If we go 6 for 6, that will give us $212.50. 5 for 6, we'll multiply that 3.4. That will be 15 plus 5 times 0.4. So I'm going to give that like a 1750. Let's do the math. Let's see. So 5, where's my calculator? All right. So 5 times 3.4, $17. I was pretty close. $17.50, $17. And then if you only hit 4 out of the 6, that'll give you 0.68 percentage of your money back, and that'll be $3.40. So not a complete loss. So we'll go with that. And just like that, we're submitting our lineup, and we have succeeded with the $5 parlay. So now that we have that in, our next episode, we'll dive in to see what that was. How did it do? Did it fare well? But at the end of the day, this is just for fun. You know, it's not about getting rich. It's about being disciplined and not shooting from the hips when you're doing these parlays. Just because something is popular doesn't mean it's going to automatically hit. But discipline will always stick. If you fall with discipline, you'll still be standing at the end of the day, because that is a principle. Oh, so just to recap, we dropped our 6-leg parlay for the 5. And next episode, we'll come back and we'll look at what hit, what didn't hit, and we'll start adding more elements. The goal is to keep these things at 30 minutes. I don't want to take up all your time. And then as we go along, if you want me to talk longer, I don't know who wants me to talk longer, maybe you, then we'll just keep talking longer and I'll add more elements to it. So thank you for joining and listening to the 5 on It podcast. And as always, stay safe and put 5